Hey everybody, it's Johnny Mo. How are you? Just wanted to come to you with an interview with somebody that I admire greatly. She is not only just a great person, dynamic, energetic, she also runs an awesome business down in the Rat's Mouth, Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Right, the Rat's
Boca
Mouth.
Raton, Florida. Yep.
Yeah, so I just learned that literally 30 seconds ago. So anyways, everybody, welcome. Nikki Klein, thank you for
Thank
joining me.
you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Um, Nikki, you're down in Boca Raton.
Yep.
Tell us about you. What company do you work for? What's your business structure? Do you have a team? Is it just you, a partner? What's going on down there?
Oh, it's like forever changing. So I I got into the business 5 years ago.
Mhm.
My first year, I think I probably made like $3,000, but I worked so hard. I did a lot of rentals. I worked really, really hard.
Mhm.
And then just to fast forward to the end of last year, we closed 38 million. So
38.
38.
Well, wow, that's fantastic. How many people?
How many people are on my team, or how many people did we close?
How many people on your team? Was that just you, or was that, I mean, how many people were on
So,
the team to help you with?
okay, so my team is always evolving. So I fail forward a lot. A lot. There's a lot of failure, but that's
Mhm.
where you grow.
Yes.
So, so last year that we had, it was myself, two admins, transaction coordinator, and a buyer's agent for a few months. And then that didn't work out because this is what happens when you're building a team. It works and then it doesn't work, and then it's forever evolving. So when people feel frustrated, I feel like the sun is, yeah. When people are feeling frustrated, that's the best time to grow. I'm frustrated all the time and I'm failing all the time, but it's amazing.
I agree with you, and I'm just in awe that you pulled off. I mean, that's fantastic that you pulled off those numbers, and it sounds like you were kind of pretty much the primary agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
people like to work hard.
yeah. Well, hey, you know, nothing fruitful ever came from laying on the couch, right?
That's right.
You've got to go. You got to get out there and work that. Wow, that is fantastic. And how many transactions was that roughly?
That was about 89.
Wow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boca Raton, and I mean, you can go in one direction and have an absolutely beautiful multi-million-dollar house, or go
Mm-hmm.
inland a little bit or upland a little bit and be down into, investment type territory. What was your primary focus? Do you primarily focus on the higher end things, mid range? You
I
work with a lot of investors.
primarily I primarily focus on people who need help. So in the same week, I closed a $3 million property and an $80,000 property.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
So you
everybody
don't.
needs help with real estate. So whoever we can help, that's where we go.
That's amazing. I love to hear it. I love to hear that. Some people just focus on this or focus on
Mhm.
that. I'm guilty of it, but I know that 80,000 dollar person can turn into a referral for a million
Absolutely.
dollar property. So treat them
100%.
all the same. My
Yeah.
original broker told me, or one of my original brokers told me that too. He goes, one of the top agents in the state, I'll go sell a trailer. I don't care. That person's going to give me a referral to a $300,000 house. I'm like, I get
But
it. I
it's
get
not
it.
even about I mean, for me, it's not even about getting the referrals, which obviously is an added bonus. It's really about helping people.
At the core.
Yeah, at the core. Like that's to see them, this is for the most part one of the most expensive investments that they have. So to
Mhm.
be able to guide them in the right direction is incredibly rewarding.
It surely is. And I feel the same way in what I do with coaching and training. It's not about the money. I can
Hmm.
be making 10 times more doing it a different way, but it's about helping people. And there's a
Right.
certain level, would you agree that there's a certain level of peace, internal peace that
Yeah.
comes by helping somebody when they authentically say thank you?
Yeah. Which is also a little bit self-serving, but I guess that's just life, right? I mean, it makes us feel good. So
Yeah.
it's like just the
Quid
service.
pro quo. That's just the way that works. And that
Right,
was
right.
going to be one of my questions. What do you attribute your success to? But it sounds like just being able to help people. How do you
Yeah, I
connect
think
with people?
if you're passionate about what you do and you don't focus on the bottom line,
Mhm.
everything else comes with it. The universe really speaks to you if you speak to it. It's really amazing how things work. It's all about your mindset. Honestly, this business is 100% mindset.
Mhm. I agree. And you just said something that I often say. Matter of fact, I posted it today as a comment.
I love your.
I said, if you help enough people get what they want, the universe will take care of you, right?
Yep.
I think that's an old Zig Ziglar quote too, and he probably borrowed that from somebody else. And, I 100% believe in that universal energy. You've got to give, karma, whatever we want to call it. You give and you get. How do you, I know you have some great stuff on Facebook. You're always connecting with people. You posted something yesterday of a picture of you meeting with a lady and something great's about to happen, or you guys are working on something great. How do you find ways, being busy, as busy as you are, to connect with people? How do you find that?
Well, I think this business is all about connecting with people. So that's, I don't treat it, I build relationships. Like that's the goal in life. Is for me, I love connecting people. I love getting to know people and helping them in any way I can. If somebody needs something, I like to be able to say, oh, I know, this guy who can help you with that. So just bringing people together is a huge passion of mine. And then it just organically, you get referrals from that. Just, oh, Nikki might know this person, or it just it happens organically.
Cool. And you're relevant in these people. You're in their world, in their reality, top of mind and everything.
Right. And that's kind of what you want to be. Is I don't just want you to think of me when it comes to real estate. I want you to think of me when you need anything, that that I'm going to. So people say, oh, cool, Nikki knows. Like Nikki knows it. Not everything, but Nikki knows all the people. So cool, Nikki knows. Like that's what they call me. So
they call you cool, Nikki?
No, Nikki knows.
Oh, Nikki knows.
Nikki knows that person, or Nikki knows that person.
That's fantastic, and that truly is a gift, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And some people can fake it. No, I don't want to even use the word fake it, but you emulate it in a way. But there is a natural talent that comes with that, I think. But it's here, right? Do you agree?
It's exactly. I think it's definitely something that is innate. I do think it can be learned. But sometimes, it's like anything. Some things are easier for some people than other people, but it's something that can be learned.
I definitely agree with that. And I think what we have to do, the first part of learning or being on that journey, is to learn how to be selfless, right? It's not about me. It's not about, it doesn't sound like it's about you. It's about the process and the people and the community. When we're able to take our attachment to the outcome of what we want, which is traditionally money, fame and success, and put that to the side and just trust the process and be that honest person, that heartful person, then you can start to become that. But it does take a special person like yourself to be organized, to always be smiling and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't say I was organized.
Glad to hear then. But you're always on. What happened?
Here's the other thing that I just want to discuss is that I didn't always used to be like that, right? So when I first started and I made my $3,000, it was all about the bottom line. And the minute I had that mindset shift of like, oh my gosh, I'm really focusing on the wrong things, instead of focusing on how much business can I do and, what can I do next to make this much money? The minute you shift your mindset to how can I help people and how can I give back and everything changes.
Matthew Ferry has a great book called Creating Sales Velocity, which talks exactly about that and how to become aware and have that mindset shift, basically become conscious. And it's, if you're listening to this or watching this and never read it, shout out to Matthew, get the book. It's a pretty awesome book, and it talks exactly what Nikki's talking about. I didn't expect it to go down this path, but it is. And you're 100% right. When we start to make it about other people, what happens how do you handle, because when we're always making it, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of energy that in the giving process how do you handle it, the stress or when you run out of energy? Sometimes I like to say, people reaching out to me all the time saying, I love your post, you motivate me, this and that. And I often say, who motivates the motivator, right? Because I hit brick walls every day.
Every
week,
day.
right?
I mean, I think that people, you've seen that picture, right, of the iceberg, and like everyone sees the tip of the iceberg, but nobody sees all the crap that goes on underneath. So every day it's like in this business, you can have the highest highs and the lowest lows in the span of about 30 seconds. It's amazing. It's like an emotional roller coaster. And I have my moments. My director of operations says to me, Kayla, she's like, you're having a moment, go for a walk. So I think it's really important that when you're in a moment, that you take a break and you go for a walk and you take 30 minutes just to yourself, and then come back and be refreshed, but don't let it consume your day.
I call it a mental reset, right? And I think you just hit on something so important. A lot of people will harbor on that, whatever it is, and ruin the rest of the day, maybe even ruin the rest of the week.
Right.
Where if you can just go for a walk or go someplace, accept it and let it go.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it does take practice. It's not like something that's going to happen. Okay, now I'm going to do that. Like, you have to really be conscious that you're going to let it go and then move on to the next thing.
So I can only assume that the folks that are on your team now, the admin staff, assistants, those types of things, we know that they're important from a functional standpoint, but I always say a good assistant controls their principal. So are they in a position, it sounds like Kayla would tell you, go for a walk. Do you rely on them for that checks and balances to tell you, hey, listen, you're having a meltdown, go do your thing?
Oh, 100%. I think we rely on each other. It's part of our culture. Like we want to be there for each other. We want to make sure that we're all successful. And we're at the point where we can feel each other's energy, so we know when it's time, or we know when something's not right. But it's really important to have that transparency when you're working with other people, and to feel comfortable to be able to say, you're having a moment, go for a walk.
And I think I just want to add to that is only possible when ego is checked. Right? You gotta, it doesn't seem like you're egotistical at all or anything else like that. You gotta leave the ego at the door, because it is a team effort, right?
Nobody succeeds alone, 100%. There's no way that I could do this without my people. Yeah.
We talked about that. You have a pretty awesome, I know we talked about this offline in the LCA moderator group once. You have a pretty good, and I'm a big proponent of this, and I teach and coach similar things. You have a pretty good community Facebook group or something like that where you can interact with people, right?
Yeah, so I built, when I came into the business, well, actually, I moved to Boca about 5 years ago, and had a lot of questions because I didn't know anybody in the area. So I figured I would start a Facebook group. Even though there were a ton of Facebook groups at the time, I wanted to be a little bit different, drama-free, ad-free, just, something where people could help each other and connect, and ask questions about the area, thing like, dry cleaner, anything. What's the best preschool? So I created this group, and it grew in 4 years we have over 11,000 people in it now.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it has good engagement.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's a tribe. Like, these people are totally connected. I get people approaching me on the street to say, your groups changed my life. Like, I've been able to
That's fantastic.
Find things and meet people that I wouldn't have met before. And we even have created these subgroups now. So we have, book clubs and special needs kids clubs and all different kinds of activities that it just has really created this connection within the community. Last week we had, it was called a spring fling. So we had over 500 people that came to an event, and that all ties back into the business. So now we have 500 additional people in our database that weren't there before. So
was that the one with the Easter eggs and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
A disastrous Easter egg hunt.
It was,
but it was fine. It'll be great next year.
Yeah.
Fail forward.
So
I didn't realize you were supposed to. I'm Jewish, so I've never done an Easter egg hunt before. So I didn't realize you're supposed to break it up into age groups. And so we had teenagers trampling 2-year-olds. It was really not ideal. But failing forward, next year is going to be fantastic.
Right. You need to have the Easter Bunny IDF there to keep peace.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great idea.
No. So, and that's a big event to put on, but would you attribute the size? I mean, would you say 500 people?
Mm-hmm. Over 500. We had 500 wristbands and we ran out. I don't know how many people actually came.
Wow. So you got a mammoth amount of people. Mm-hmm. And you would attribute that to what? Some of your past clients and staying in touch with them, but mainly the group?
Yeah. It was, I mean, we have a database from our past clients and, you know, people we talk to every day. But I would say that the Facebook group was really the tipping point of where the contacts came from.
So I coach people and I train and I talk about it. Get a community page, not a business page. It runs the same.
A group. There's a difference between a page and a group. So a Facebook page is informative. You want to get all of your business information there, and then the group is interactive. So you want to be able to have people talk and communicate within the group.
I have a bunch of them. We got like 7 down in the Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. Different reasons, you know, garage sale community. Yeah. But I like the page because I can pixelate the people and run ads. But it mirrors it also mirrors a group. So I tell people, do this. Be part of the community. Be the place that people want to go for news or events or happenings, right?
Well, find your niche. Like if you're passionate about something, if you have like a dog breed, bring, you know, start a Facebook page for the dog breed and have, you know, meetups. And we want to start taking people offline and start having events in person, because that's really where the magic happens, right? That's where you start.
The whole reason we're online is so we can meet them offline.
That's
Real
right.
simple, right?
That's right.
How do you promote? If somebody just starts a group today, you said something. You started it 5 years ago. There was a whole bunch of them. Well, there's a whole bunch more now. Right? 5 years worth more.
But you know what? I create new groups every day, and they're successful. I mean, I have a lot of groups. I have 40 or 50 groups, and some of them are great, and some of them suck. But it's all about how you nurture them. And so what I find is a lot of people aren't consistent, which is why they fail. You have to be consistent
in everything.
Yep.
Yeah, consistency is key. But do you promote them, or you just let them do their thing and the engagement builds and gets it out there?
I haven't started promoting it yet, but I'm going to be promoting it in the near future. Yeah, but I haven't needed to.
This is all with just groups, and they have grown organically, and now you got 500 people coming to an Easter egg hunt to trample on kids.
Yeah, pretty much.
Phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And you get notoriety in there. You all obviously get business from being the person in there. Do you let
My lender literally had a line of buyers at his table. It was pretty impressive.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. All right, we're going to wind it down because we're approaching the half-hour mark. And if you can leave any agents that might be new or struggling with one piece of advice that they can do today, but you just got to understand that what you do today, you might not have results for a few months down the road because of nurturing and everything else like that. But what's one piece of advice you could give an agent, no matter what it is, that they could utilize and implement that will help them long-term in the business?
Definitely make sure that you have a database and talk to at least 10 people a day, 10 new people a day to add to your database. I think that's key. And also start reading. If you're not reading, start reading.
Yeah. I believe in the power of reading. I actually listen more than I read. Just because when I read, I go into different directions, but when I'm at the gym, I can listen. When I go for my walk, I can listen. Anything is great, but making the brain continue to grow, because the brain is a growing.
And once it expands, it doesn't go back. Right? I mean, that's what people don't realize, is that once you have all this information, it's really like a drug. You want more. Like, oh my goodness, I didn't, you know, even if you listen to a podcast for 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes in the morning, something, just keep your brain stimulated, because it's incredible. Like be learning based.
Yeah. What's your favorite book?
Well, I'm reading Profit First, which is amazing.
Oh, I love that. Michael Michalowicz.
Yeah. I just saw him at Win Make Give with Ben
Oh,
Kinney. So it's pretty awesome.